Ready? Okay. Good evening, everyone. I call this meeting of Hamtramck City Council to order. Today is July 11th, 2023, and it's 7:02 p.m. Would the clerk call the rules, please?
Councilman Rafai,
Present.
Councilman Musa,
Present.
Councilman Chowdhury,
Yes, present.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman El Samiri,
Yeah, present.
Councilman Hassan,
Present.
the mayor is present. Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag, United Nations of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with justice for all.
All right.
He's not feeling well.
There's supposed to be announcements section before proclamations, right?
Yeah, but I don't think we had any announcements in there.
Do we have any?
I didn't have anything to add to it.
You don't have any? I think I have one. I received an email from, a text message from the folks in Islamic Center of Hamtramck. They are having a grand opening of the new Islamic Center in Joseph Campo, and they are inviting all the city council and staff and city manager and everybody to join them. And it's on Sunday, 16th of July at 9 p.m. So they just wanted me to deliver it.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And we'll move to proclamations, recognitions, and presentation. We don't have any of those? No? Okay. Additions and deletions to the agenda?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to add a couple of resolutions today. Excuse me. I'd like to add under new business one resolution. It should be D, resolution removing Ras Garden and the Kathy Stark Hall from Human Relations Commission. Resolution 2023 dash, what should be is that? 99.
Correct.
Yeah, 99. So that, and also I'd like to add another resolution.
We have to add one at a time.
Okay, it's okay, we do.
Second.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Discussion? No?
No.
Okay. Councilman Rafai,
Yes.
Councilman Musa,
Yes.
Councilman Chowdhury,
Yeah. Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman El Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Hassan.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 2023-99 added to new business D.
All
Mr.
right.
Chair, next one, E, resolution number 2023, should be 100. Yeah. Resolution to the recent Authority of Human Relations Commissions to maintain and fly flags on the city property.
Okay.
Second.
Yeah, we did speak up.
Yes, it's a resolution to rescind authority of Human Relations Commission to maintain and fly flags on city property, which means it will remove the authority of the Human Relation.
We'll
move it to
discuss
the-
under
to
the
the city.
resolution.
Can you please speak up? Do you want me to read the title?
You can, but she's not gonna understand it.
Okay, the first resolution that was passed is resolution removing Russ Gordon and Kathy Stackpole from Human Relations Commission.
Oh, I didn't even hear that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, okay.
Second,
God.
Okay, go to the second one.
Okay,
We
you
don't
can
have time.
interrupt.
Speak up.
It's no discussion though.
Excuse me, Mr. Go ahead.
second resolution, resolution to rescind authority of Human Relations Commission to maintain and fly flags on city property.
Mr. Chair, third one,
No, you get it. We need to vote on that.
Second.
Second, yeah.
Second
Who's
someone.
seconding?
He
Who's
seconded.
seconding?
I second it.
Okay, Councilman Hassan,
Yes,
Councilman Al Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Chowdhury,
Yes.
Councilman Musa,
Yes.
Councilman Rafai.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 2023-100 added to new business E.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
I thought I had another one about the discussion.
That one, so there's one on there that's listed for just discussion, it's not really a resolution.
Why, still I can put
If you
down
just
the,
add a discussion to it, but I also asked kindly that someone sponsor, there is a third resolution
Yeah.
for approving Friends of Historical Hamtramck
yeah,
Stadium. special
somebody
funds.
else gonna do that, yep.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
Rafai, Councilman Rafai, I need a second.
Second.
Oh, can you, well, let me read it off. This resolution, it would be Resolution 2023-101,
Approving.
Yep.
and then this would be added in new business.
101.
And it is Resolution 2023-101, approving Friends of Historical Hamtramck Stadium special events.
Yes.
I'll second.
I'll make offer. Offer seconded.
All right, vote, Councilman Hassan,
Yes,
Councilman Al Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Chowdhury,
Yes.
Councilman Musa,
Yes.
Councilman Rafai.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 101, I'm sorry, Resolution 2023-101 is moving to new business F, letter F.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I had another one for discussion. So,
Motion for discussion under new business.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Second.
One moment, I'm sorry, who
I'd
seconded?
like to make a motion,
A motion to add discussion for new business
property
G.
tax, yep,
And he will be discussing property taxes.
yes, in,
Yes.
Vote,
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Musa,
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Hassan,
yes,
Councilman Al Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Chowdhury,
Yes.
Councilman Rafai.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, discussion was added to new business, letter D for property tax discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, I'm assuming that's all for addition to the business.
Yeah, that's all.
Yes.
All right, thank you. So we'll move to the public comment now.
I'm gonna start with the in-person public comments first, just so that they don't get sort of like drowned out with all the written,
I think that's a good idea.
yeah, me reading them. So Atlas K. 3 minutes.
1 second. I'm going to be sharing a statement from a Hamtramck resident and business owner. My name is Elizabeth Foncier. I address you today through a messenger. I'm a female business owner in Hamtramck. I worked very hard in life to gain the opportunity to own property and operate a business in this city. This past weekend, my private residence above my business was attacked by violent vandals. They threw eggs which exploded on my window, causing siding damage and trauma. My 3.5-month-old child slept away feet from the window that was attacked. My mother was in another room and was terrified by the sound, which was so loud she thought was gunfire. All of this because I chose to fly a flag that represents my beliefs. This flag is on my private property over my public business. Most of my customers come to visit from outside Hamtramck. Many of them are from as far away as Ann Arbor, Lansing, Grand Rapids, Ohio, Chicago, and sometimes even further. I received national registration.
I apologize, you were heard, but can you push the button on the mic, please? Thank you.
All right, for sure. Would you like me to start again?
No, you're good.
Okay, for sure. Give me 1 second, let me find my place. Most of my customers come to visit from outside Hamtramck. Many of them are from as far away as Ann Arbor, Lansing, Grand Rapids, Ohio, Chicago, and sometimes further. I receive national recognition in the food and beverage industry for my products and services. Many people have asked me, why did you open in Hamtramck? Why did I open here when I could have opened many other places that could have benefited my contributions and respected me and my clientele better? Because my grandmother grew up in Hamtramck. My friends live in Hamtramck. My heart is in Hamtramck. My child is growing up in Hamtramck, and we are not going anywhere. It is only going to reflect poorly on the city to disrespect its passionate and peaceful citizens when they ask for a safe place to live, worship, work, and raise children. Thank you for your efforts and for listening to my statement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Josh Hansknecht?
Hello, thank you for having me today. I'm here to talk to you about the recent uptick in hate crimes against the LGBTQ community. I am the president of the Hamtramck Queer Alliance, and one of the things that we have been trying to do is keep track of all of the different instances of people shouting slurs across the street, people tearing down private property flags, egging houses like you've heard in the last statement. And what I want you to understand is that the policy that you have passed, the one that is neutral, does not have a neutral impact on the citizens of your city. In particular, the most vulnerable citizens in your city. The minorities who are not accepted by the religious majority in this city. The different crimes that have been happening in the city have been very concerning to the Hamtramck Queer Alliance because we have seen a huge uptick in those crimes. Meaning, before the ordinance was passed in 2023, we have had over 5 times as many reports for different events of people shouting things across the street or destroying property, like we talked about. And it is concerning to me how quickly the council is able to do things for their citizens when they think that something is important to do. In fact, they could get up on a Sunday morning or an afternoon and mobilize to make sure something happens, especially when their pride is involved, right? But what doesn't seem to be happening is any sort of mobilization to protect this community based on the resolution that you have passed that has had an impact on the safety of your residents. Thank you.
Michael Petrak?
Hello, gentlemen. My name is Mike Petrak. I own Dos Locos Tacos, the building it's in. Been a resident of Hamtramck for 15 years. I'm also the father of the child that was mentioned in the statement read by my friend Atlas on behalf of my partner. I'm here today as a business owner, a resident, and a father to speak on behalf of one of the city's newest residents. I'm not here to chastise you for your beliefs, nor do I believe that anything I can say here would change them. I'm here to let you know just how close we came to tragedy Friday night. On Friday night, as my 3-month-old daughter was asleep in her crib, 2 masked men, adults, threw a half dozen eggs at her home because there was a pride flag on display. 2 of those eggs struck a window less than 2 feet from the crib she was sleeping in. That window pane is 1/8 of an inch thick. If it had broken, she would have been showered in shards of glass. Just let that sink in. 2 adult men could have very easily maimed or killed an innocent child because they are unwilling to tolerate a different point of view. Emboldened by the rhetoric coming from this esteemed body of government, they committed a premeditated string of acts of intimidation and destruction of property against multiple homes and businesses, all because they don't respect our right to free speech. If you're truly against this despicable behavior, then you need to say it louder and more frequently. You need to step up and actually lead this community towards peace. The police department has been professional and receptive on this issue, but they have a tough job ahead, and an example needs to be made of these perpetrators. Mr. Mayor, as far as I'm concerned, it's your duty to speak at every Friday service in town until it stops. 1/8 of an inch, gentlemen. That's how close we came to a tragedy that would have made national news, forever tarnished your reputations and the reputation of this city. An eighth of an inch. Thank you.
President Roland Stringfellow?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, esteemed council. I'm Reverend Dr. Roland Stringfellow. And I want to say, first of all, I come in peace. And I want to also talk about public safety, much of which has been stated tonight. But oftentimes, as a faith leader, I understand the difference between protecting someone's religious freedom, which I'm all for, and then also protecting people's public and private safety. And as elected officials, that's one of the things that I really encourage not only public officials but parents and anyone who may not quite understand someone else's sexuality or gender expression, but to say that even though I may not understand or agree with you, I will stand up for your safety, especially those who have elected positions to stand up for safety. Today, when we all gathered, we stood up and we pledged allegiance to this flag. And this flag is used to unite all of us together as Americans. And flags are indeed symbols. And the pride flag is indeed a symbol that should create peace and not division. And so one of the things I just really want to say that we're not talking about the right to fly a flag. We're talking about matters of life and death. Because when you share a particular, say, I'm for this or against that, it gives permission for people to say, oh, I'm against them too, and take it to extremes that you never would have imagined or intended. But one of the things that I really do hope as a faith leader and those who I represent in this community is to say, please reconsider the policy in which you have enacted with your resolution, recognizing that once it happened, what it did, it gave permission for people to act in very hateful and harmful ways. Very last thing I wanted to say, when I heard all of you have been elected to the position that you are in, I was so very proud, because to have men of color to stand when you generally don't see men of color in positions of leadership, that says a lot. And I just really want to say that, as in your positions, to stand for the safety of all individuals and not to do anything that would be divisive. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Bill Meyer?
Hi, Bill Meyer from One Jim. I didn't know those two new resolutions were being put on the agenda, so I was going to address it. Anyways, this is something that I'm very familiar with. As you probably know by now, I have been the chair of the Human Relations Commission for many years, 5 years. And it's no big deal to be removed from the Human Relations Commission, because I was, and I immediately started one Hamtramck, and we've done the work that we should have done with the Human Relations Commission, but was stifled by the council and mayor at the time. The mayor removed me. The council had choice of putting me back on the Human Relations Commission, but I chose not to go back on, because I didn't want to work with a commission and a council that wasn't working in conjunction with the body that's supposed to represent the council of the city. This Human Relations Commission has fallen apart ever since I left there. They rarely have enough members to show up for quorums. They have one major project since I left 15 years ago. It's the flag project, and that turned into a commercial thing where they have to have other people pay for it now and put up their own flags, and it's turned into a totally counterproductive project. And now we have these new issues with the pride flag on the flagpole. I know you all feel this way, and I feel this way too. We have to protect everybody in the city, and I know you want to do that. And I have total concern about the statements that were made before this. And you have to make sure everyone's protected in the city. And I don't know if it's your job to go out on the street and go knock people's doors. I think that's the police job, but you should show your face and speak publicly more in defense of all the people who live in the city. That would be nice. As far as the issue with the Human Relations Commission, I think I totally support you removing the people who are not working with the city, because this is an organization that's supposed to be working with the city. Instead, I understand that in defiance of the rule that you passed at the last council meeting, they attempted to put a pride flag back up on the flag, which was in defiance of the rule of the city government, which is supposed to represent the majority of all the people of the city. So they actually committed something against the people of the city. Maybe a small segment really supported what they did and certainly we support that community, but we don't support raising the flag anymore because that was already voted on. It was illegal. So this says nothing against gay people or the LGBTQ community. It says against following the rules, which I have to follow rules every day that I don't like, but I still follow, unfortunately. I will always defend everyone that lives in this city to be treated equally and justly. Let's all find a way to work together. Instead of coming here and doing disruptions like this, which divides people. The Human Relations Commission is supposed to bring people together. That's the purpose of the commission. They're not doing that. They haven't done anything. They put flags up. It's caused problems. Let them do something positive. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Michelle, I'm sorry, your last name?
Cameron.
Cameron? Yes. Welcome.
Hello, good evening. My name is Michelle Cameron, and I am here to talk about the property taxes. A couple of months ago, I received, this is not a tax bill, and the change of the taxes value increase and or decrease your tax bill for the year of this year, 2023, was approximately for $90. When I opened up my new tax bill, and this is, I'm speaking on behalf of myself and anybody else that's in my neighborhood, because me and my aunt Deborah Richards, that couldn't be here today, walked the streets and asked everybody that their taxes increased extremely this year, which they did. When I opened up my tax bill was over $300 more than it was last year. I'm trying to find out what is this court order that was on on the property taxes. Why was anybody in the city notified about this new court order on the taxes, and will it be on there every year? Also, I want to know, what is the standard rate to assess the taxes? If I've been in my home for over 10 years, my taxes should not be raised up $200-300 every single year. It's not stable. It's not normal. I don't live in Farmington Hills. I don't live in Sterling Heights. I need a resolution, and I'm also a plaintiff. And I also want to know, are all the homeowners getting the same treatment, or is there any difference or distinguish with the plaintiffs in the Garrett case, and are we getting hit harder? Because it seems to me that by us getting these new homes and Hamtramck didn't have to pay a dime to build these homes, they're hitting the plaintiffs harder than anybody else in the city. And it's proof. Online, you can see it's public records, and they're doing it all over again. And also, you know, why does they go up every year when the value of the houses are going down? And then an assessor is not assessing the houses correctly either. You know, you can assess outside, but you're not going actually inside to see what the houses are, how many bedrooms they are, how many bathrooms. It's not accurate, and I can see this for public records online. So whoever is assessing these houses are not assessing them correctly, and we won again, a good fight, and we'll win again. But we got to get down to the bottom of this, because these taxes every year getting raised up high is ridiculous. We want to live too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's all for in-person public comments.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask a question? Is it okay or no?
I think it's not right now.
I mean,
Okay.
let's finish the public comment.
Public comments, yeah.
That's fine.
I have one email, and then I had some letters hand-delivered to the office, so I'll be reading through those. Hello, dear Mayor, Council, City Clerk, City Manager, and City Attorney. My name is Ahmed Ali, and I am a resident of Holmes Street. First, I would like to give my condolences to the City Attorney for his loss. I'd like to say that what happened this week is an embarrassment to the rule of law, the city as a whole, and the Human Relations Committee in specific. The commissioner needs to resign, or the mayor needs to fire him. We can't have rouge of officials that do things based on their whims and desires. What he did was wrong, and if we can't trust our public officials to uphold the law, who can we trust? I would also thank our council, mayor, DPW director for their work in making the city better, and keep up the hard work. Thank you. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, gender nonconformity is as ancient as humanity and has had countless iterations throughout cultures and history. If it is so unnatural, then why must violence be used to suppress it? Violence can be legislation, violence can be verbal. Recognize the legacy of violence you now perpetuate. Remember this as you progress this path of hate. Remember you can always turn back. Remember you can always repent. Freya, Hamtramck resident. Dear Hamtramck City Council, my name is Jackie Van Toyle. I am a queer transgender woman. Since coming to Hamtramck, I've become a part of a vibrant, supportive, and loving queer community that has lifted up my life. Queer people are here in Hamtramck. The City Council's decision regarding the pride flag is cowardly, divisive, bigoted. They ought to be ashamed. Jackie Van Toyle. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, hello, my name is Claire, and I am a Hamtramck resident. As a municipal professional who has hosted many public meetings myself, I have questions about the new public comment restrictions, which might technically follow the letter of the Open Meetings Act, but they're absolutely in defiance of the spirit of it. In addition, I was to 2023-93. You should not be able to seamlessly transition from public office to paid top worker of the city. It almost seems like you had someone in mind when you wrote it. Claire Nawaf Boyd. Since you passed resolution, dear Hamtramck City Council members, since you passed resolution 2023-82, the resolution meant to ban the gay pride flag from being flown on city property. You have made international news as the City Council stoking hatred of gay people. Hamtramck now bears the mark of being uniquely intolerant of the LGBTQ community. Moreover, businesses and people who fly the pride flag on their own personal property are reporting escalating levels of vandalism and hostile behavior from people on the street. This behavior was not happening before. It has clearly been egged on by the perception that your resolution affirms the right of bigots to harass gay people. You claim your intentions in passing the resolution was to oppose racism and bigotry, but look at the effects your actions are having instead. Marcus Merritt, PhD, Hamtramck resident. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, I first want to thank you for such a prompt response to the pride flag going up. I'm hopeful that this is indicative of your willingness to have a quick and concise response to the latest wave of vandalism. I do want to apologize for not being here this evening, and I am away on work, not of the shadow government. I've been collecting the footage and will continue to do so. I'm accepting footage at atawsu@proton.me. I'm so excited about how this year is shaping to form so far. I'm hearing lots of community activity and determination, and I've never been more proud of my community, with the exception of the gentlemen assembled in front of the reader. Anywho, in closing, I do think that Council Hassan owes me an apology for trying to lie to the cops about me. Lady of Corruption, Gracie, Hamtramck resident. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, the City Council should take immediate action to address the recent and growing trend of anti-gay activity in our community. City Council itself is partly responsible for this trend since they gave their implicit support to anti-gay bias when they banned the gay pride flag on city property. As a gay man, I have enjoyed being a part of Hamtramck community for the last year and a half. In the last month, however, I have noticed a concerning increase in unwelcoming behavior from certain members of the community. Since June of this year, my partner and I have had to replace our gay pride flag on our house 3 times after 2 were stolen and 1 was torn in half, prompting us to file a police report with the Hamtramck Police Department. Additionally, a passing driver shouted an anti-gay slur at my partner and me as we were standing in front of our house a couple of weeks ago. This is the only time I have ever experienced something like this in our city. I am also aware that 2 local businesses flying gay pride flags were recently vandalized. To help prevent further hateful acts in our community, City Council must make clear that Hamtramck is accepting of everyone and that anti-gay acts will not be tolerated. To send this message effectively, the City Council must immediately rescind the ban on the gay pride flag. Going forward, the City Council should additionally speak out of opportunities to foster inclusivity with the LGBTQ community by engaging with gay-friendly businesses and organizations. Finally, the city also needs to direct the Hamtramck Police Department to make acts of anti-gay vandalism an enforcement priority. Ian Nichols, Hamtramck resident. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, the recent flag ban
Keep going.
The recent flag ban has put the entire city in danger. Every news article about the law, the comments there are full of Islamophobia and homophobia. The law is perfect for outsiders and propagandists to characterize our city as anti-American. Look around. These days, mass shootings are happening everywhere. All it takes is for one person who knows nothing about our city to come here with bad intentions. It can absolutely happen here. This law does nothing to help our community, and it has put a huge target on all of our backs. People who don't like pride flags will still see them. This city council is a disgrace for passing a stupid law for political points at the expense of the community and all of our safety. Claude Silvera, Hamtramck resident. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, I moved to Hamtramck in 2017 after graduating college and securing a job at General Motors. I grew up only about 15 minutes away and had been frequenting Hamtramck to visit my friends and local establishments for years, and was so excited to become a part of this vibrant, kind, and growing community. As a young professional with a lot of potential, I was so excited to purchase my first home in Hamtramck in late 2019, after falling in love with the city and becoming active in my community in many ways. I've had family working in the Hamtramck school system for decades, as well as family ties dating back to relatives working at the hospital in the north side of town in the 50s, and various family members living here throughout the decades as well. When the city's decision to allow the call to prayer was announced, I was heartened that a small community could grow to embrace anyone who called it their home. My first landlords in the city were a young, recently immigrated Bangla family whose children made me smile every day and were always quick to lend a hand to the young woman renting out their upper floor as I was with them. Since moving into my home, my neighbors have been kind enough to share treats with me for Eid. We have lit fireworks together in the streets every year since I moved in. The children love to give my dog a treat and pet her when we come home, and my neighbors have even come over and let me know that they saw someone peeking in my window while I was away when I was very new to the block. I have been so proud to embrace and be embraced by those around who care about the well-being of those we share our block and our city with. Unfortunately, I no longer feel the safety and compassion of these neighbors, and friends have extended to me due to the actions of my community. With a high salary and future earning potential, I should be an asset to my city, not to mention the fact that I maintain a board of director position with 2 different community-based nonprofits and spend much of my time making an effort to better the lives of those around me. The statements consistently made by Hamtramck residents online, including but certainly not limited to my sin, mental illness, and pedophilia, make me feel decidedly unsafe in my own home, where I pay taxes to live happily. Seeing people in this community, young and old, deface a simple piece of cloth meant to show solidarity with all members of the community and call for jailing, execution, and exile of gay people haunts me every day. Am I so unacceptable for the love I freely give? Will God see fit to punish me not only in the next life, but in this one as well, for the crime of finding a caring person to spend my time and life with? Have the lives of all the people whose groceries I paid for, animals I've vaccinated, provided veterinary care for, and neighbors I've shared a sunny afternoon or a chilly night with been so negatively impacted that I should be run out of this previously accepting and strong community? In the minds of many hearing and reading this letter, the answer is yes. I beg of you. Where is the willingness to at least live and let live? It is with shame that I am afraid to sign my name to this letter for fear of endangering myself, those I care about, and those to whom I provide care. Miss P., Hamtramck resident. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, protect democracy at all costs. E. Maldonado, Hamtramck resident. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, my home and pride flags have been vandalized 3 times since you passed this resolution banning pride flags from our city property. While your resolution only applied to city property, I fear that some members of our community are taking this as approval to harass the LGBTQ community in Hamtramck. Could you pass a resolution condemning these types of actions and confirming that Hamtramck remains a welcoming place for LGBTQ residents? Daniel Prickly, Hamtramck resident. Dear Hamtramck,
I'm allowed to applaud. We applaud these guys, I can applaud that.
Dear Hamtramck City Council members, if the flags are important to this council, I would strongly suggest that the city follow U.S. flag code, as right now there are multiple violations on the flag that fly in front of City Hall. It's embarrassment for a veteran to see the flag unlit in the rain and the city flag tattered to the point of being unreadable. Colleen, Hamtramck resident. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, I am the owner of a Hamtramck hostel. an affordable location for people to stay in Hamtramck. Unfortunately, some folks have told me that they no longer wish to stay in the city where they, members of the LGBTQ community, are not welcome. This will have a big impact on my business. It also isn't right. There are multiple examples of city council allowing religion into politics in City Hall in support of religious folks. You allow free parking on Eid and Christmas and close City Hall of it as one of the many examples. This is a nice thing to support Muslims and Christian citizens. It is time to show the same support to its LGBTQ plus citizens and visitors. Scott Aronson, Hamtramck resident. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, hello, I hope your evening is going splendidly. I am so happy to be able to provide public comment in an easily accessible manner. That's a joke. Actually, I'm more disappointed that due to your actions, you are hiding from public comment on your actions. City Council, I hope we're all having fun, as I personally cannot wait to see what happens next. Will it be a new ordinance? Will the mayor write another shady poem, but well written? Gracie Cadieux, Hamtramck resident. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, you have not just excluded people who cannot come to council meetings from having a voice, you are also silencing those you have actively intimidated away from City Hall. You are taking rights away from the contagious and pregnant and busy. This should not surprise us. Your selfishness has been on display all year, from bullying your gay neighbors to discussing turning parklands full of children into parking lots because you are lazy. Thank you for continuing to display your complete disregard for anyone who doesn't behave how you want them to behave. Carrie Beth Lasley, Hamtramck resident. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, I hear so much hate it sickens me. Stop all the hate. Patrick J., concerned citizen. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, first of all, refuse to take no more than 15 public comments via email is anti-democratic. I don't care about flags usually, and I don't like Mike Duggan anymore for using this culture war stunt of Hamtramck City Council to try and win support. Clearly, this is not about flags, but about the safety of LGBTQ Detroiters. We know your city council is being supported by dark money, the same dark money that stoked hate in Dearborn. You aren't fooling anyone, and how spineless, really, to bow to the demands of people who don't even have the best interest of your Muslim citizens in mind, just for a taste of political power. You might be able to cause fear in religious people right now, but time will tell. You'll be remembered for the cowardly, power-seeking politicians you are. God does not reward people who are full of greed and profit off of hate. Wave your flags, put them at half-mast, or burn them. I do not care. Queer Detroiters built this city, and we will be here long after you cash in your political prowess for a higher position. We are watching. God is watching. Z. St. James, concerned citizen. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, in regards to limiting electronic submission of public comment, I think that's a terrible idea. I grew up and lived most of my life in Hamtramck and still own several rental properties there. However, I am not down to the city very often, as I live up north on a lake with few neighbors. Therefore, obviously, I would like to see the continuance of digital submission of public comments to the council. Cheryl Zarsicki, concerned citizen. Dear Hamtramck City Council member, I've loved Hamtramck since I started visiting for the Metro Times blowout in the 1990s. While I don't want to deny your many brilliant local businesses my patronage, I have a hard justifying the trip, given the hateful, bigoted stance the council has taken as of late. I imagine I'm not the only one. Please reverse this heinous decision and celebrate the diversity that has always made your city great. Tyler Brubaker, concerned citizen. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, please don't discriminate against the LGBTQ plus community. Margaret Elliott, concerned citizen. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, Muslims are called by the Quran to stand against wrongful oppression wherever they find it. I urge everyone reading this to stop pretending the people of Sodom were practicing consensual homosexuality and heed Quranic values of acceptance and love instead of cultural values of homophobia and erasure. Victoria M., concerned citizen. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, to create a safe, accepting, and peaceful community, you must celebrate and educate on the topics and ideals that make up such a diverse community. The hate just stop. And you must lead by example. Stop the hate. Lisa, concerned citizen. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, for as diverse as Hamtramck is or claims to be, it is pretty dark stain on that. This is a pretty dark stain on that legacy. By lumping pride flags in with extremist flags such as swastikas and other hate group flags, it is sending the message that the Hamtramck City Council thinks LGBTQ equals extremism, when it couldn't be further from the truth. And I think y'all are smart enough to see that. This is just y'all conservative underbelly showing itself, jumping on the hate train as cities, states across the nation adopt similar anti-gay legislation. Way to turn the clocks back. There are queer people from all nationalities which fit your diverse Hamtramck narrative, yet they are being singled out. Let the rainbow flag fly. It's the least y'all can do. Next up, actually protect queer and trans kids from the violence that is sure to come. Joseph Bootcamp, concerned citizen. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, until recently, I was a longtime resident of Hamtramck who loved the diverse community of people who live in the city. It is heartbreaking that City Council has decided to feed into hate by passing the flag ban. There is nothing neutral about this resolution, especially considering the rise in vandalism and hatred that has plagued the LGBTQ community in Hamtramck since its passing. One word I keep hearing is rumor, and as a former proud street auntie of 6 neighbor kids who grew up around me where I lived in the city, it is distressing to be treated as a criminal for existing. What exactly was grooming? Was it during our science fence chats where I would answer any science questions any neighbor kids could think of? Was it when they invited me to their birthday parties, when we mourned the passing of my beloved dog together? Was I grooming them when I went with their whole family to an apple orchard and petting zoo? Maybe it was when I went over to their house to fix things for them and stayed for tea. This resolution is not a reflection of the true character of the citizens of the city and should be reversed to support the true character of the diverse city. Amanda, concerned citizen. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, the council needs to recognize the volume of comments will not decrease because you're limiting avenues for residents to work with you. The LGBTQ community has supported the city of Hamtramck peacefully and without issues prior to the resolution of banning pride flags. It's incredibly dishonorable and shameful that Russ Gordon was removed from the Human Relations Commission yesterday. Neutrality is about conversation, not removing every voice you don't agree with. If you continue down this path, you will continue to scar Hamtramck's legacy as a diverse and proud community. Matt I, concerned citizen. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, before moving to Michigan, I was a lifelong resident of the state of Florida. As you can see in headlines every week, Florida is trying to eradicate the rights of LGBTQ people. When I first moved, I was so relieved to live in a place where I thought I was more accepting. But as a flag ban you've imposed clearly shows, hate can be found everywhere you go. It is disappointing but not surprising that the City Council has decided the First Amendment doesn't apply to LGBTQ members of the community. Joseph M., concerned citizen. Dear Hamtramck City Council member, the flag ban was heartbreaking news. I've had an enormous crush on Amir as well as several striking members of the council. This feels so personal. When I express such deep and sincere love and affection for Amir and the rest of the council, please reverse this decision and let our flags and love soar. Pink flowers, concerned citizen. Dear Hamtramck City Council members, I live in Bangla Town. Most of the businesses I need to access for food, supplies, work, and social life are in Hamtramck. Since the City Council's decision to amend the removal of the equally inclusive queer representation of the pride flag from city property, my family and I have experienced a dramatic increase incidents of harassment, unfriendly behavior, and aggression in Hamtramck. It is also true some folks have taken extra time to extend kindness, empathy, and acknowledgement. I've even had a respectful conversation where the foundation of real acceptance may have been laid. It would be a bold and powerful move for the City Council to create a sustainable avenue of healing. Perhaps this is a commission of peace that is formed to represent the specific demographics of Hamtramck, led by someone with a background fit for the task of building social bridges or social art engagements with similar goals. This city is hurting, and it isn't just the LGBTQ+ community. The pain extends beyond the borders because borders don't contain the human heart. Please consider the legacy of the choices you are making in your words and deeds here today and on the street. Ephemera Lynn Fay, concerned citizen. Mr. Mayor, that's all for public comments.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, I just have a comment.
I mean,
Let him finish. Oh, he got another one? I thought
we
this
have
is
one
done.
more.
Oh,
Mayor just approved that another one. Okay, go ahead.
I don't know, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm here to speak mostly on behalf of friends, family, and people in Hamtramck residents that I've spoken to, also on behalf of myself, that on property taxes. I noticed like in the last 3 to 5 years, it has increased 3 to 7 timefold for many of us, and I'm one of them. There's no reason for these homes to be overassessed. I really don't even know how they even assess them, or even a breakdown of how they're being broken down to the residents. There's no reason for this. Our roads are still bad. There's not enough money going into our schools. Many of our alleys are disgusting and scary, unpaved. There's still lead issues in our water. There's also, every time it rains, we always have to cross our fingers that the water doesn't back up into our basements. I'm one where my taxes were $1,900 last year, and now it's $6,500 this year. That's 3.5 times over. I do hear people complain they've increased $100, $200. I understand there's got to be some type of increases, but when you increase someone from $1,900 to $6,500, you're chasing him out of Hamtramck, not trying to promote him to come into Hamtramck. And it's for many other residences that I know, mostly recent purchases between 3 to 5 years. Now, I do understand that someone living in a home in Hamtramck 30, 40 years, and they're only paying $1,000, and they got the same square footage as my house. Should I be paying the same? Maybe not, but I shouldn't have to pay $6,000 more than my neighbor. What services am I going to be provided that is not provided to him? So, as you know, council, where we elected you guys to, serve and protect, and also service the people of Hamtramck. At the same time, I feel like you're chasing people away from Hamtramck too, and something needs to be done. And that's why we elected you guys into office.
Thank you. Actually, we have, we have heard so many complaints about this, and that's why we brought this resolution for discussion today of the property taxes. So we noticed there is an issue, and we need to figure out what it is, and most likely we will form a subcommittee to take care of that. Thank you. And there is another person who told me that you want to come and speak, but you didn't speak. Did you want to talk about your issue? Maybe you didn't know the process. You need to fill out the card. Yeah, maybe you need to help him. I knew he didn't know the process because he told me he's coming to speak.
Speak on something. In the meantime,
Until he comes.
As the mayor,
Yeah, we can take your question, Mr.
Oh, no, Mr. Mayor, the question was, all the violation that happens past week in reporting here is being informed to the city administration, and what kinds of steps been taken. I just want to ask the question to a city manager. I know police chief is not here, but replacement of the police chief.
With the yellow shirt. The guy with the yellow shirt, if he wants to speak.
Did you want to speak as well? No.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
I know, it's just gotta get lost everywhere. I don't know what's going on.
it's a,
Go
there's
ahead,
people,
you can
we're just trying to finish whoever wants to speak.
whoever,
That's not all
I guess
know.
they didn't know the process.
Mr. Mayor, can you?
Oh, okay, you can speak and then you can answer his question.
My name is Mohammed Majed. I've been a resident in Hamtramck since 1996, almost 28 years. I graduated high school in 2002. I'm fully committed to the city, and I invested into the city. For the past 5 years, I accumulated properties, and it's getting worse and worse. I mean, if I just tell you the last 3 properties that I purchased, it's crazy. 3159 Belmont, property tax is $7,776. This is on a home that the rent on the first level is an elderly man who pays $650, and the upper level is a student who goes to the state who pays $800. Now, if their water heater goes out, I won't even be able to fix it because of the money that they want. Here's another home, 2260 Hewitt, same thing, $7,740, which I refuse to change the rent because it's another elderly man and another elderly woman. Next door to that house, same built, same style, 2266 Hewitt, $5,000, 232. And I'm not gonna tell you the addresses, I'm just gonna tell you the numbers. 5,538, 5,540, 4,400. I mean, there's no point in me keeping these homes. There's no point. I might as well, every summer, sell a house to pay the property tax. I mean, I wanna invest in the city, I want people to invest in this city, but at this rate, I purchased these homes 120, 130, 110. The only reason why I got them for those prices is because I'm paying land contract, pay half down, and you pay monthly installments. But at this rate, I don't know what to pay the property tax, to pay the homeowner, I don't know what to do. And they all need work. I guarantee you, if I took you to one of these homes, none of you will live in the house for $300,000 a month. I promise you. They all need gutting, and I can't even take the people out to fix the house because I have to worry about this. I honestly don't know what to do. Sell the homes, keep the homes. Like, I'm stuck. I mean, if I show you this, I don't even want to tell you the number. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I just need answers. I need help. You know, I want to invest in the city. I want to continue to let the, grow with the city. But at this rate, these numbers, people are not paying in Troy, in Canton. You know, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Saleh Al-Juhan.
Hello, my name is Saleh Al-Juhaim. Last week I have a ticket in Yusuf Kambo without reason, no reason. I've been here since almost over 30 years and I never heard about this new tolls. Everybody, they do this. Why is it up to me? I mean, they stop me and they give me a ticket. This is not fair.
Well, so what was the problem?
The problem is we have a wedding and we drive very slow, not like crazy people. This is why I have a ticket. I know. And my son, he went from the sunroof, Everybody does this. Since 30 years, everybody does this. And I don't know why I have a ticket. That's all.
So, you want to address that?
Yeah. I mean, I can't even express how dangerous it is to stand in the sunroof when the car is moving. I mean, that's just careless. I mean, the driver probably should have got a careless ticket. From what I understand, you got a seatbelt ticket on that. I mean, they let you off pretty easy. Frankly speaking, if people are driving around hanging out of sunroofs and hanging out of windows, they should probably get more tickets for that, because that's just a recipe for disaster. If someone would have hit you and he was hanging out the top of that sunroof, that'd have been all over for your son.
So, no, you only allowed to speak once. So, his argument is, how come everybody's doing it and he's the only one who got the ticket? I know what his argument is.
So, bottom line is, I mean, the police can't ticket everybody. They try to ticket who they can for this. Apparently, they observed your son doing it, and he got the ticket for it. But if someone else was doing it, I can guarantee you they would have wrote them a ticket too. So people do get tickets for this. They get tickets for far more than that. That's dangerous behavior, 100%.
This is the first ticket in the city.
It is not the first time that it's been written in the city. In fact, those processions happen very frequently throughout the city. We're very, very familiar with it, and they're usually rife with careless driving. And all the time, police officers are writing tickets to people that are acting very irresponsible in those processions. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with a procession as long as people are following the rules, driving safely, wearing their seatbelts, driving responsibly, but hanging out sunroofs, people are doing burnouts, doing all kinds of crazy driving, and frankly, if that's what they're doing, they deserve a ticket for this. And this is not exclusive to your son, 100%.
This is the first ticket.
Excuse me. It is not.
I think it's a proper to go back.
Okay,
we're not.
But we appreciate you coming out and concerns.
You want to address
Nothing else.
his question?
Councilman Muhimma's question.
Repeat your.
Do I need to repeat it?
Yeah, I'm sorry, please.
Oh, no, only reason is I see all the violation been brought up to our attention. It's been reported to the city, and is there any precaution or anything have been taken against those, kids throwing the eggs and windows and all of the stuff? It's been reported to police department, or, I mean, what's the update on it?
We are very, very carefully monitoring the situation. The police department has been taking multiple reports on this topic and investigating everything as thoroughly as possible. The PD is very much high and alert for this. And frankly, anyone they do catch doing this behavior, we're gonna try to do our best to prepare a case for prosecutor's office to prosecute. I mean, the city's not gonna tolerate it, and the PD is doing the best they possibly can to apprehend it. Frankly, there are a lot of juveniles doing it, which is unfortunate. Not that there hasn't been some adults, because there is, but there are a lot of kids doing this bad behavior as well. So, but the PD is all over it.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll move to the consent agenda. Now, this is approved with a single motion with no discussion. We have A, approval of minutes from the June 27, 2023 regular city council meeting. B, approval of invoice register date ending July 11, 2023. C, approval of pre-approved expenditure date ending July 11, 2023. D, resolution 2023-91, approving street closure for 2023 Hamtramck Labor Day Festival. E, resolution 2023-92, approving cancellation of regular city council meeting scheduled for August 8, 2023. F, resolution 2023-93, proposed amendment of the Hamtramck City Charter to remove section 9-18C, city manager appointment, qualifications, compensations, and the ballot language for this proposed amendment. G, resolution 2023-94A, proposed amendment of the Hamtramck City Charter to remove section 4-04, council member who run for mayor, and section 4-05, mayor who runs for council, and the ballot language for this proposed amendment. H, resolution 2023-95, a proposed amendment of the Hamtramck City Charter to change section 7-01A, council compensation, and compensation section 9-03, compensation of mayor and mayor pro tem, and ballot language for this proposed amendment.
Motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, no objections. All right, we'll move to the new business then. And we have the first one, resolution 2023-96, approving the purchase of one utility vehicle for the Department of Public Service.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Mr. Mayor, we have DPW Director John DeAngelis here to speak on this topic.
Okay.
Yeah, what's in front of you is the second of two that we tried to get earlier in the year. We were able to secure one from a cancellation. This is actually the second unit that I pre-ordered to come in just before winter, and it actually came in. So this just fills what we were initially going for, was the 2 units. This is what's going to do the parks, the parking lots around City Hall and whatnot.
Is that coming from general funds?
No, it's coming from.
No, it's a road, it's funding utility.
I was hoping you don't make that mistake.
That's coming from the road fund now.
Now, this is actually, like the last one we got, this is actually a diesel model. The gators that we have, spent half the time in the shop, broke, and thousands of dollars trying to keep them running. And they just didn't run, and they couldn't, that last heavy snow we had at the end of the season, it wouldn't even push it, we couldn't even use them. So these are diesel models, the longevity will be a lot better, and they'll be able to push the heavier snow.
Is the first unit also a diesel or just?
Yes, they're actually twins. That's why I went with the same unit. I want them to go to the same place for service, and we can keep up on the maintenance. We don't have to have different filters for different models and stuff.
And so, do one of these units actually is able to carry salt?
Yeah, we put salters in them. That's what this model will have. It actually has a salt bin in it, and we ride around and salt the walks and everything with it.
So it's almost like a plow and then salt in the back.
It's like a little mini salt truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, the gators that we have, we might repurpose those to be able to use it in parks, or during the festivals, the police can use it to hop in it and run around during the festival, so we won't be wasting other units.
So John, so you were asking us to approve it, is this because it's available now?
Yeah, this one, well, I pre-ordered it, but I wasn't worried about pre-order, because they said they'll sell it in a second if the council turned it down. So they just went ahead and pre-ordered, because there's such a demand for these. I know if I wait much longer, that's why I put the order in when I did it. As you get closer to fall, and people start to see that weather's changing, what the cities do is go in and they try to buy these vehicles, and then you can't get them. So that's why I put the order in early.
One is good enough, we're gonna need another one.
Two is all we need, and that's, I talked to the guys, we have a big department now, so I can get 2 guys out there doing the snow. So, yeah, I don't think we need another one. We could always, the gators that we have, it's lighter snow, we do have plows for those, we could actually put one of those in service for the louder, for the later snows.
Right. John, I know it's coming from the road fund, but the roads needed to be repaired first. You know, snow, it's here, there, right? I mean, this is Michigan. We expect the snow.
They're scheduled, Councilman. We're
But
gonna do it.
the-
We're planning,
Yeah.
gearing up to start paving.
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna, I think is the most priority.
We have 9 of them, 9
Nine
of
of them,
them scheduled, so.
We're getting ready to rock and roll on those.
I was gotta get them. Thank
Mr.
you.
Chair,
Go ahead, Mr.
so similar types of trucks we do have.
One.
How many we have?
We have
One
2,
of these.
well, we have one, a
Okay.
newer one that we just got earlier.
I thought we had 2, the function.
We tried to order 2 when I
No.
went for before, but they only had one because somebody canceled. So we grabbed it when we knew we could get it. And
Okay,
then-
so right now, as of now, we have 1 active.
One.
Only 1 or 2?
One, of the Kubotas, the one that can handle the snow, we have 1. The other ones are still not up to par. The gators that we currently have that are older, they're not working right.
So we brought another one, it's not working right.
No, the new one we have is working perfect. That's all set up. That's one we got earlier in the year. We wanted to get 2, we only got 1 out of last year's budget, and we're supposed to get 1 out of this year's budget.
Councilman, they were formerly using what was called gators, and they basically don't have enough oomph behind them to push the snow. They're essentially ineffective. So they were switching to the actual Kubota, which we did go ahead and purchase last time. This is the second one from that purchase he was trying to get. He just couldn't get it before, so now this one finally came in, so he's asking to purchase. We're gonna repurpose the original gators for other uses though, or sell them, one of the two.
So hold on, so we wanna clear something. After this, we're not gonna come for another one next year.
No,
No.
this should last for years.
So we only need 2.
Okay, well, that's why I was asking. If
Yeah,
we had the
yeah.
2, I'm not gonna approve them.
No, this should be good.
One is not working. With respect to the council member Naim Chaudhary, yeah, the dialogue is coming. We are approving everything, but road, how about the road? So I understand, so you said the third one, we're gonna repair and refurbish and to start working? So we're gonna
No,
have a 3?
The gators that we have that don't work will not do the job that
So
we
we
originally got.
originally had 2 gators, which is just name brand for this type of vehicle for the snow, but they were ineffective in actually pushing the snow. They couldn't handle what we needed them to handle. So the department is switching to the Kubota, which is the purchase of what you see today, and then the one he purchased last time. The original gators will be either repurposed for other uses within the city or sold completely, and we're completely gonna be just the Kubotas.
Okay, so somebody brought those things
Years back. and they
years
were
back,
ineffective.
let me tell you, clarify this thing. So to do same step of job what we try to do
No.
now.
Yeah, so they were originally for
No,
that
what,
stuff.
where I'm going to the point. So somebody else brought it and they never thought, they don't have no brain, how much horsepower, what is the thing they have to do. So that's why I'm telling, that kinds of situation happening, somebody buying, somebody selling, somebody sell damage, is happening along. I've been here 28 years and I come here from 1996. So I know everything, I saw everything. So I just want telling, if I trust you, give approval this one, next year, I know you're gonna be here, somebody else come, oh, they did not do the good job, it was not good for this, it's not functioning, I wanna get another one. It's happening in this city a lot.
I
So,
understand your concern, Tom.
Yeah.
This one, we're not buying junk. He's buying the diesel good ones in order to make sure we get what we need to handle the truck.
And the gators we currently have, just to give you an example, every time we do use them, they usually come with a $1,500 repair bill, because they break every single time we do try to use them. So I'm starting to see these bills come through, and the guy's telling me, why is the city hall not done? Why is it so late? Well, the gator's broke, it's in the shop, gotta get fixed. I said, who bought this junk? It's junk, it doesn't do anything.
Okay, well, again, so I have to, some other thing also, one of them, everybody
Mayor,
knows.
Good question.
We are buying-
This is the most effective one on the market, or there is a better quality one on the
For
market?
the price, yes, Kubota, and we got the warranty with it, so we got a 3-year warranty with it, which is good. And that's one of the reasons why I want two of the same kind, so that our guys can keep up on the maintenance, they learn one, they know how to do the other one. We don't have all this mismatch equipment in the yard to try to keep up on. These are outfitted correctly, and like I said, they're diesel, 3-cylinder diesel, so they already got multi-purpose. We just don't have to use them for the snow in the winter, we can use them in parks, we can use them in other applications in the summer too. They will handle whatever we need them to do.
So,
Hey, John.
So recapping to Mayor Pro Tem. Like he said, you know, every team that comes in, well, we gotta buy new equipment. So will these equipment will at least last 5-6 years? Or every 2 years, we're gonna be here again and purchase?
This equipment, I would be surprised if this doesn't last at least 15 years plus.
And that's my,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
if
This
we're
is good
able,
stuff.
if we're gonna put money and we're gonna purchase stuff, it should last us more than 10 years. Why would you always continue buying these
That's my
cheap
question.
equipment, and then we'll come back in 2 years, either you're gonna be here in front of us or somebody else, and say, you know what, we try to get new equipment, well, that's too old, so I'm hoping that after we approve this is a real good equipment that will last us at least for 10 years.
Yeah, I always research everything to find out what's the best. I also talk to other city people in my position and what they're using, and this is what a lot of them are switching out to is the Kubota. All the way around for excavators, for everything.
When they started this process, one of the things I told them was, see what everybody is using, see what everyone's recommending, see what the commercial people are using, and see what the best one is. Don't just buy one because you recognize it, buy one because it's the best.
But then, another question, through manufacturing, is there a warranty on it?
Yeah, no.
Or can you buy warranty besides?
I did have them put the extra warranty in it, so we have an extra 2 years on the unit.
I see that, yeah.
And then you can
2-year warranty.
continue with the warranty? After 2 years will expire, is there a way that you will continue?
Usually they send you a flyer to extend it, and that's why the service, the recommended service, we want to bring it back to the dealer to have them do the recommended service, because you extend your warranty life on a lot of the units if you do so.
Let's call the vote.
All right, I think that's, you know, we're discussing the trucks and stuff, but it's all due to the labor force. If they, you know, providing better services is not all due to the trucks, whether they are new or old. It's mainly the labor force, whether they will be more committed on time to do better services. I'm concerned about the old trucks. I used to see them, they still look in a good shape. What are we gonna do with them? I mean, now we bought like 5 new. What are we gonna do with the old ones?
Well, we have a lot of guys now, so they're using them.
The old ones aren't that great, Mr. Mayor, I can tell you, I drove them a few times.
For the driving trucks, we're using them.
Okay.
I was a little concerned when I was driving them.
Well, we can sell them then and make some money.
Yeah, we auction them off, we'll push them off.
I think I got 4
Yeah,
units
get
ready
some
for
money back.
auction.
One question, warranty, how much cost is that? It's
The
not
wa-
here.
the warranty, it was about $900, but I did get a rebate of $732 on the unit.
Every year?
Huh? No, just the one-time flat rate.
So I want to
Yeah.
clear everything.
No, it says right here.
Okay, I didn't see that in that case. So, again, just want to let you know also, one time, we cannot make the paycheck. I have to borrow the $2 million from one of the water department fund, okay? We want that kinds of situation, that case, we have everything perfectly done. I cannot make the paycheck. Then I have to bring the receivership here and sell 26,000 to the 6,000.
Right.
As a manager, as the finance CFO, I just want to remind that those kinds of situation, before come, we have to be ready. It's not the system working like taking the money from property tax, take it as many, put it there for revenue, for retirement. That kind of mentality has to go away too. So this is the one I kind of trust you, I convince, after that maybe no. So that's all I can say.
All right, I think that's enough for discussion. We can go ahead and vote.
Councilman Hassan,
Yes.
Councilman El Samiri,
Okay, yes.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Chowdhury,
Yes.
Councilman Musa,
Yes.
Councilman Rafai.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 2396 approved.
Thank you. Moving to the next one, Resolution 2023-97, approving the purchase and installation of new windows at City Hall.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Mayor, we have John here in regards to this again.
This is a multifaceted proposal here. There's three components to it. The first part is floor one, where all the windows are, the customer service windows with the little thin plastic. This is doing it more in line with what the treasurer grant has. It's a 1-inch thick plexiglass, done it professionally in an aluminum frame. Right now, we have a couple of screws holding up a piece of plastic with some boards on it. Doesn't look professional, and not gonna hold anybody back if they wanna jump through the counter. Some of the staff has mentioned for safety reasons.
But it's time for professionalizing.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I have to discuss this one. I agree with everything else, but this one is not the emergency needed, what I call. So that case, if I can survive today, I can survive tomorrow. This one, I'm not gonna be agree to expend the money right now. I wanna wait.
Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Yes, Councilman
I don't know if Mr. Mayor Fulton is done. Well, regarding this resolution, I know there's other windows considered the court and the judge chamber. I know it's owned by the city, but can the court help out? even
Yeah,
though they
that's
have-
what I was gonna get to. So there's like three components of this. We have some windows on the third floor that are commercial grade, actually windows that should be put in our building. We have a lot of residential windows in this building on floor 2 and floor 1 that are just total trash. So my idea is to do a bulk of windows every year. Can't afford to do them all, but we can do some every year. If I do a little bit every year, eventually we'll get there. Third floor, we already have the advantage of the frames being in place. It's just the glazing unit that's bad. So the glass company that came out, all they'd be doing is they take a special seal out, they take the glazing unit out, they put the glazing unit back in. The only windows that I've cited are literally the ones you can't see through. The ones in the court, they're actually, you can stick your hand right outside through them. The windows have shifted, and it whistles in there, they told me, and I couldn't understand what they said until I actually researched it further and looked at them. The court, the building fund for the court would pay for part of this. Anything to do with the court windows and all that would come out of that fund, the building fund.
We have a lot of bad windows around City Hall. We do a pretty good job of masking it, but if you look closely, you'll see the damage around some of them from the leaking and the mold growing. Even in this room, sometimes you smell it a little bit from the mold. That's from the windows.
The windows I cited, you can't see out of. They're like frosted up on the inside really bad, so.
If we could systematically replace them as we go, a little bit here, a little bit there.
Yeah, it needs to be improved.
Now, how come these windows were not replaced previously?
No one cared.
As soon as, we have money now, it's like, start spending this money.
I think a lot of things got overlooked with City Hall. We're starting at ground zero in a lot of areas. I'm just doing my job, going through the condition of the building, trying to upgrade the building appropriately a little bit at a time, so, the residents and the council and the mayor and the employees have something proud to be in. But I know the engineer's office here, he's got some windows, and his, you can't even see out of them, period.
Where this fund coming from, general fund?
General fund.
Some of it would come out of the general fund, some of it would come out of the court fund.
Yeah, a big portion of that is out of the building fund, which is a protected fund that actually only the court can spend out of.
What is the percentage coming from the court and general
Not too
fund?
much.
Yeah, it's a fund that is.
How much? 20%.
Yeah, it's like for every ticket issued in the city, a percentage of that goes into the building fund, which is basically for upkeep of the courthouse. And by law, the court is the only one who can decide how to spend that, so.
Okay, just go.
I mean, we're able to utilize that for things that are in upkeep of the court, including windows, which in actuality benefits the rest of City Hall too, because it's better insulation, better aesthetics, so.
Last question, are we able to function without fixing these windows now?
You may open them?
All of them?
No, most of them are fixed unit windows. There is an option that we can add to open some, but I don't know if you want that in the court.
So I remember we put some projects for some elected officials, and one of them was renovating the city hall. We haven't gotten the approval, but if we do, we'll be able to fix everything.
They excluded
What
they
is it?
excluded city buildings.
Well, now, I mean, I know it's a small amount of money, but it seems like what the residents are noticing, that we got some money, now we are being selfish to spend it for us, changing the carpet, buying a car for the fire chief, changing the window. You know, what are the residents, what is the priorities? Are these priorities for us to spend this money, even if it's coming from road funds? Isn't the alleys, you know, priority, or the streets to?
Well, we are doing that, Mayor. I mean, we're doing alleys, we're doing streets, we're doing lead service lines, we're doing water mains.
But we are
We're
moving
fixing
very slow on
signs.
these. Like, I mean, the alleys are a priority for the residents. We are moving very slow on this. Like every summertime when we work, we do like a few alleys. And sometimes we have the money, but we can't finish them on time.
Yeah, we're basically constrained by the contractors on that one. We literally sat in the room with them, encouraging them, pushing them, saying this is what we want, this is what we want. Even with the lead service lines, we basically had to really amp them up to say, get your butt in here and get these rolling. There's construction is in abundance right now.
Can we say whatever we done is done? Not every meeting they're gonna come a new issue. But when we work outside, never even to fix something. Every meeting they're gonna come a new issue. Today the carpet, the window, the car. Tomorrow you don't know, a door, a roof, ceiling, a light. We're gonna change the whole place.
I can still.
We need to work out. We need to work the outside, fix the alley, fix the street, make safety. It's not gonna stop.
So I'm saying, is this it?
Yeah, it's
And
not gonna
that's
stop.
all
Yeah.
we expect more stuff.
Unfortunately, I'm in a position
No,
that
no.
I have to come to you and ask you
It's
for
not gonna
things to
stop,
do
yeah.
my job, so
Right,
I'm always in a position where
I mean,
I'm always
it's a
asking
city.
for.
It's not,
Lots of
yeah,
cities
it's
have-
not from you. It's
Right,
not
okay.
from you.
Yeah.
But the issue, they came. You wanna do something, but we didn't work outside. We need to work outside.
Yes.
Whatever we done early, that's it. The car. The other issue, leave it 2-3 years. It's not very important. We need to work outside. We need to make the city a good shape.
For the court at least, though, I think they do need new windows and it's coming out of it.
Well,
Yeah, that's fine. If the quorum is down.
internal employee can repair that one too, protect that too. It's not the one right away coming up. So let's go ahead, Mr. Mayor, if everything done, vote for it.
Yes.
I'd say, you know, Mr. Chair, it's, the building is old. You gotta consider that part.
We need to down.
It's deteriorating, it's needed,
100
100 years
years old.
old. As needed, he's asking for improvement. It's not like that he's asking for the entire building to be renovated. As part of the building construction, people gotta come in and out. It's also a safety issue. That's,
Well,
we need to
I mean,
consider.
I don't know if you're trying to scare the clerk, because her windows need to be changed too.
Actually, to be honest, if you don't mind me speaking, the one that's on the resolution is just for the plexiglass in front of our window. And I didn't wanna say this, but all of the windows in the clerk's office do not
Yes.
lock. You know, thankfully, we're right by the police station,
Yeah.
but
Nobody's
like
stealing
all,
anything.
but my windows are not on this resolution, but he's planning on doing step by step, little at a time.
Little by
so
little,
it's not
that's-
all at once.
Yeah.
But every window in the clerk's office is broken.
You'll probably
And I'm
see me every
sorry.
year
I don't
asking
think
for
we
it.
shouldn't have mentioned that. We don't want anything to happen. But it's,
Well,
okay.
we can go ahead and vote.
It's a
maybe.
small amount. I think we should move forward and let's move on. We got other things to.
Don't make me break the tie now, okay.
Hey, Mark,
I did start with the least expensive part as well.
Okay, let's-
That was all.
Councilman Hassan,
no,
Councilman Al-Samiri,
No.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Chaudhry,
Yes.
Councilman Musa,
No.
Councilman Rafai.
No.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 2023-97
Yes,
not
sir.
approved, fails. Oh, I'm sorry, did I put Chaudhry?
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
I voted yes.
All right. I mean, good luck
Thank you.
next
Next
time.
next attempt.
All right.
All right, thank you. The next one is Resolution 2023-98, approving action regarding Wayne County right of first refusal properties.
Motion.
Second. Discussion.
Any discussion?
Mr.
Or
Mayor?
you want to explain that?
Yep.
All right.
Um,
Every year, as council and mayor know, Wayne County has their annual forfeiture list, and we have the option of the first refusal on those properties. This year, they sent us, I believe it was 7 total. Of the 7, 6 are worth us purchasing for resale. One of them, unfortunately, the price would be too high for us. It wouldn't be worthwhile. So it's our recommendation to purchase them and auction them off.
All right, any,
When did the action start?
We haven't set it up yet. It's the same way like, do you mind, I'm sorry.
Sure.
Yes, so basically what'll happen is,
As soon as approved.
if council approves tonight, I'll send them an email tomorrow saying these are what we want. They'll give us a bill, we'll send them the check. Probably about a month or so after that, they'll send us the deeds, and then we'll start the process for the auction. We'll post it and do it similar to what we did last year.
So we set it up last year to set
Yeah, you
the sales process.
Just for the public to know, how the process works.
It goes pretty fast. The
Yeah.
biggest thing is waiting for the deeds to come from the county.
We'll announce also the dates in several years.
Okay.
Can I add something?
What?
Thank you for saying that, Councilman, because you're right. I think every day that we mentioned that they had the auction, people were calling my office, when are these homes gonna be on auction? When are they, can you call me when they're, and the best advice I can give you is we post them in the newspaper when it's gonna be the auction, and, we'll have them posted anywhere that there's city news. So
Usually
just keep
post on
an eye out.
Facebook too, so people just need to be patient.
Yeah.
Social media?
Yeah, we don't sit on our hands on it. We try to get them out the door pretty fast.
And I know people are eager to get them, that's why they wanna get the first,
There you
the
are,
first
yeah.
wind of it.
Well,
And
that's
alright.
the problem.
One thing,
People
we're
bid high,
not-
excuse me, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
People bid high, and then the tax goes high, then they'll complain. So that's something I only recommend to our city and Hamtramck. Don't go too crazy. Don't ask $300,000 for a $50,000 house. Then come back here and say tax is too high. Because things goes both
Good point,
ways.
yeah.
Please, thank you.
all right, we can go ahead.
Okay, Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Musa,
Yes.
Councilman Rafai,
Yes.
Councilman Chowdhury,
Yes.
Councilman Al Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Hassan,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 2398 approved.
Thank you. Next one, D, is Resolution 2023-99, removing Ross Gordon and Kathy Stockman from Human Relation Commission.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Council.
my previous experience, the best Human Relations Commission chief was the Bill Myers. Good job ever did for everybody. Mr. Mayor was the one brought the diversity 100%, almost 100% to the city of Hamtramck. He fight for us a lot. I used to sit over there. I used to see what they used to, this side of the people sitting here, what they used to treat us. And the person is the Bill Myers. Stick with us, strongly fight for the diversity, strongly fight for the everything. So that kinds of person, former mayor, like a terminate within second. We have lots of tolerance about this commission. We personally spoke to the person. City manager personally spoke to the person. And lots of residents also personally spoke to the person. The person or the commission, some of them, don't want to realize what their job, and they was doing by themselves, maybe listening someone else. The common sense law, after your ordinance, nobody can do any other thing. This is the law already been established, but still they ignore the law and they did it without knowing nobody, and they should not. If any residents out of ordinance violate the ordinance, they're getting punished. $250 ticket, $100 ticket, and one of the baby boy by mistakenly has something done, and we punished him go the house and talk to the parent, give him some punishment. So this is the one, they are the persons or commission should give us good job, correct us. They are the one, some of them is making more problem to the peaceful community, what I see from 29 years. So I really appreciate this resolution, and I really with this resolution. Thanks.
Thank you. And just to clarify, within the first 90 days of me taking the office, I could remove anybody with no question, without a cause, from any commission. After that, we have to have a cause. So just to let you know, when I took the office, I didn't remove any one of those people. And I knew what they support and what their ideology and political views, but I thought that we can work together. Unlike the former mayor, when she fired, Bill Meyer, just because she disagreed with him in her first day of office or so. Some advisors used to tell me, you need to fire everybody from the former administration. And I said, no, we can work together. I even appointed the former mayor back in the DDA, just to show you the good intention I had. But did they work with me? Did they try to build bridges and unite the community? I'll tell you now, most of them did not. They took advantage of these positions and they worked against my vision for the city. Let's give an example. Ross Gordon last year put the flag without a meeting, without a quorum for the human relations. His excuse was that Kathy told him to do so. Kathy denied that, who's the former city manager. So, okay, that was miscommunication, we said, misunderstanding. Okay, it shouldn't be the norm for the future. You admitted, he came here and he apologized and he said, I didn't mean to create a problem, but she told me to do so. She denied, so okay, there was miscommunication. Now that was a mistake, let's stop it. In the future, we have to do it right. This year, a month ago, he said, if there is no resolution, it's documented in Hamtramck Review. If there is no resolution to stop this, I'm going to fly the flag again. Well, there was a resolution now, and he still did it. Like he contradicted himself. Well, to do this with some previous staff from the former power structure, all of them were there, show zero respect for law and order, complete irresponsibility, and then they blame some others when they violate stuff. You are yourself used to lead this city at one point. This is the kind of people who used to lead the city for decades are acting like this, disrespect of law and order, and acting, oh, there is no severe punishment for violating the resolutions. You are setting an example to the ordinary citizens to violate everything. Now, if you are, who used to lead the city, doing this and violating rules and laws, how do you want me to convince the citizen not to do something wrong? I can speak up, I can say statements, but would they listen to me when they see you as an example violating rules and law and disrespecting law and order? That's the reason why there is a valid cause for removing him from this commission. The purpose and the mission of this commission is to bring people together. He's doing totally the opposite. He's being a divisive member of the community, and everyone with him created this severe division in the community. That's very hard to fix. Right. And so I think it's a valid cause to remove him and whoever was with him from this commission. But I didn't remove him because of last year's mistake. I thought he would fix it. We kept him in there. But he didn't. He's completely doing things against the will of the city council and the mayor who appointed him, who kept him in there. And so I think this is a good reason to remove him.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
I think Mayor has covered everything. We're good.
Councilman Hassan?
Yes.
Councilman Al Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Chowdhury,
Yes.
Councilman Musa,
Yes.
Councilman Rafai.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 2023-99 approved.
Thank you. The next one, Resolution 2023-100, resolution to rescind authority of Human Relations Commission to maintain and fly flags on city property.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
we brought those things given to the Human Relations Commission, try to help each other, more diversity, more open, talk to the people, more accountability to the department and the elected officials. Now we are seeing more problems coming, so that's why we are revoking and bringing back to the priority to us. That is exactly nothing wrong. Thank
Okay,
you, and I will support this motion.
All right, I think it was an obstacle for the human relations to bring people together, to give them the purview of doing something that's controversial. So they will not be successful to bring people together in that case. So leave this to be the purview of the city government, and then we exempt the human relation from this. Maybe they can do a better job, bringing the community together. All right.
Okay.
We can go ahead and vote.
Councilman Musa,
Yes.
Councilman Rafai,
Yes.
Councilman Chowdhury,
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Al Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Hassan.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 2023-100 approved.
Thank you. Next one, and probably the last one, Resolution 2023-101, approving Friends of Historical Hamtramck Stadium special events.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All right, Max, you wanna explain this, please?
So, I received a request from the Friends of the Historical Commission. They have an event coming up, and they need council's permission for this. And I'm hoping that, we do have an MOU with them for the usage of the park as far as programming goes. But as far as special events go, as far as some of the catering aspects of it, with the beer and the wine and the other stuff, they need special council approval for that.
All right.
All right.
Thank you for clarification. I have no question.
Go ahead and vote.
Okay, Councilman Rafai,
Yes.
Councilman Musa,
Yes.
Councilman Hassan,
Yes.
Councilman Al Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Chowdhury.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 2023-101 approved.
Thank you. Actually, there's one more, which is
Yeah,
Resolution
101 discussion.
2020.
Not resolution, though.
Yeah,
Discussion.
discussion, 102, discussing the recent issues with property tax increase.
Big issue.
So can I get a
Motion.
Second.
All right, so let's discuss that.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
okay, so let's go like a 2000, 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't have any permanent assessor in our city. We had that part-time assessor, and we used to slide everything underneath the door. He used to come take it and assess and everything, and everything is on time. Second, and no problem, and it was everything properly done. Secondly, a State Department, Michigan State came, we have the one guy came here and assessed used the wrong formula, assessed the property tax, and the lawsuit case, people get the 21,000, 18,000, 19,000. It was a big meeting around here, and it was proven he was the wrong formula. He was not listening, and either he was forced to go or he go himself. So, assess this year what happening. There is of course that office has the 2 employees now. First of all, I never had the one employee permanently. Now it's the two of them. So the assessor, he's gonna explain, I know, but there is something still wrong. If it is lawsuit for the flood, the person has the $300, maybe $200-300 or $100, why is go up to that? One of the person told me before last year, $1,200, last year, $2,700, this year, $6,000. I understand, when they buy the house, okay, came the original value late, no problem, but it came in and you assess the $2,700, that means you have the value, change the name. And next year, this year, go the 7,000 again. So, the gentleman was speaking about the house. He has to pay, he not getting $500 rent for one apartment. He has to pay more than that to save the house. So, what kinds of world we are living? What's going on? So, there is the need to be accountability with the subcommittee. And by the way, I create the formula because I am the mathematician. I have the double 2-degree masters, statistics and mathematics. So I create the formula. All the formula myself I create anyway. So sometimes formula, if I'm going the wrong way and it's gonna go the price high, it's the common sense. This guy have one family house. Today I saw the $7,000. His value was $30,000. I said, no, maybe you buy the house like $300,000. No, I didn't buy the house $300,000. Here is the one, my purchase and everything. Okay, so, and he live over there. Then I told him, maybe you don't have the 100% exam like me. I don't have the 15 years, 100% exam. I never look at that. I'm paying, who cares? My city getting some money. Somebody telling me, you don't live here. What? Oh, your house is not 100%. So that kind of mistake somebody did, I look at that one, no, 100% exam. So all those things, I'm not blaming, not my city side. And I'm telling resident, little bit patient, please. And we're gonna have I believe today, if everything okay, we're gonna have a subcommittee to discuss with the assessor and look at everything as a team, have a seat. Then we'll back to you guys to answer that question. Please be patient. I understand. Like Farmington Hills, other cities, tax is not that high. And they have less water bill, less insurance money. Here I have to pay extra water bill, extra insurance money, now extra tax. So like the gentleman said, we are forcing to the people live. So we're not doing that honestly. There is somehow is miscommunication or little mistake or something. We can look at that one, assessor office and ourselves. So that's why we brought a discussion, and I will come back to you guys again and again. Like last time, all of them you guys came, and there's an city site was telling, yeah, everything good. And I was the one telling, no, it's not good. And it was proved, it was wrong. So we're not saying we are correct 100%, and we're gonna look into that situation, and we're gonna answer the question. And one more thing though, lots of people, innocent people, very honest people, buy the house, their realtor never told them, your tax is the $1,600-1,700, not bad, it's gonna be okay. But when you buy the house, $170,000 is the $70,000 house, there is the $100,000 extra tax is coming. I understand that one. But it's not gonna be that like a real up to the roof. So if we do wrongfully assess, make the money, guess what? Who is getting more money? Michigan State, not the Hamtramck City. Okay? So all those things we will consider, and we'll come back to you guys. Please apologize, accept the apology to us. Maybe miscommunication. I understand most of them upset, and we will take care of that one. The other gentleman said,
But in the meantime, the ones that have to pay the $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 summer taxes now.
I'm going that far. In case we misuse or we mistakenly done to you guys, there is the answer. We'll discuss with the attorney. Maybe could be returned something if it is wrong. We'll have to talk to the attorney. I'm not the attorney, so I'll have to talk to that. So that one we'll do it. Other gentlemen saying that it was the 2007. I tell exactly same thing. Reassess the value of the houses. Somebody paying $500, somebody paying $1,800. Same house, same site, same neighborhood. So those kinds of options still we have. I understand there's the grandfather law, senior citizen. Right now, almost everybody got it. I said, how long you been, this house you buy? Oh, I'm 10 years. So suddenly, why this year? It could be the flood lost to little bit money, not that much. So that's brought to my attention. So all together, please be patient. We will find out the way, get the solution.
All right, thank you,
Okay,
Mr.
Mr.
Whitaker.
Chair.
Just one point I want to mention. So, on November 22, 2022, last year, when we had a closed session and then we voted on to, increase 1.5 mils to cover the attorney fees for the housing, the discrimination housing case, Sarah Garrett versus Hamtramck. And we said it's going to be a one-time thing. I was against it at that time, but the council voted for it. We were told it's going to be around $50. So that was expected to be a $50, $60, $70, a
Yes.
one-time thing, although it wasn't a necessity because we handled this for the past 50 years and the city was in a more difficult financial situation than this year. But last year in November, we didn't know that we would have a better, balanced budget and some surplus. So the city council voted for it because they scared us that the budget will collapse if we don't do so. Although it's just going to save like 300 or 400,000. But that's what I was expecting for people who own their houses for years, for decades. And I even posted about that. But I was surprised that some people who own the house for 10, 15 years showed me an increase of 600, 800, and that was not expected. Let's not talk about the transfer of ownership. If somebody just bought a house last year or the year before, it's expected that it will go up, in a significant value, but not 4,000 or 5,000. Some people are showing me the difference between 1,800 last year, 6,500 this year. This is crazy. I don't think this is acceptable. And it doesn't matter what the formula that we are using, the proposal A formula, whatever, it's just not logical. If, to pay 7,000 here and your neighbor pay 1,100 just because they own the house for 20 years while they are getting the same services. So I believe something needs to be done. We can work with the assessor office and see how we can help the people. We don't want to kick people out of Hamtramck. We are saying that, yes, it's the city with the fastest growth in population, but it doesn't mean that we want to punish them for coming to live in Hamtramck. Something needs to be done, and I think a subcommittee should be formed and work with the assessor office to discuss this issue.
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
Mr. Chair?
Councilman Rifai, and then.
I'm glad that we opened this topic here. Even, I've been getting so many calls and so many residents are complaining. There are some that have been complaining because high taxes, even though they bought the house a year or two. But, I'm referring to those who've been living in the city of Hamtramck for 30, 40 years. Some are elders who are either retired, receiving Social Security. So, and now, this taxes are going up like crazy, and they're showing me bills. It's like, what the heck? What's going on? How come, their bill's high? Like you have mentioned that, they came with the issue that we have to kind of raise the taxes because of a lawsuit. But again, it was a smaller number, and now we see a bigger number in these people's taxes. And, I think it's ridiculous that people are paying these much in the city of Hamtramck. I'm not saying Hamtramck is not a good city, but it shouldn't be with these thousands of dollars of taxes. It's ridiculous. I got a friend that lives in West Bloomfield, and he's paying $65 for almost a 2-acre house. Even though he owned this house from his grandfather, but that's how much they're paying. So paying 6 to 7, like these people are mentioning, it's crazy. I think, like you guys both have mentioned, it needs to be a subcommittee. Something has to be done ASAP. We're not gonna, have these continue going up like crazy and having these complaints from our residents who actually put us here in these seats. So they're not gonna continue putting, gave us these seats, but we're not doing our job. So I'm down with the subcommittee, whoever's gonna be in the subcommittee. We have to work with the assessment department, see how they came with these numbers and how they assessed these houses, because to be honest with you, it's ridiculous.
Mr.
And, Naeem Chaudhry, and then you, I'm sorry.
All right, thank you.
Councilman Naeem Chaudhry. And then after we finish, we wanna hear from the assessor, maybe.
Sure, right, that's what I was gonna get. I wanna appreciate those who came in today and spoke about your property tax. That's just how we, I appreciate that much, because if the residents don't come out and tell these folks that the property tax is going up and increased, then if we talk, they try to talk us out somehow that this and that things they're trying to do, and sometimes we don't know the equation of that, but the residents come out and speak, it's really better to be heard and address that. I want to mention one other thing, that we live in Wayne County. Wayne County, Grosse Pointe also live in Wayne County, Grosse Pointe Wood. Their property tax isn't that high. Their service is way better than here.
And I know people, so you're right.
And these folks that we're expecting them to pay this much money, if you divide the $6,000, this is $500 a month. You're not owning the house, you're paying rent. And that's disgusting. You want folks to stay here, retain here, to do the right things? I know we want to fix things up, but not like this, chastising and getting the property tax increase. That's not the way. We can do better than that. I hope that we create a subcommittee today and then do the best thing for the communities.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman,
Councilman Abu Musa.
question that some people will get some answer from there also. Some people get grandfather laws, taxes. How it is possible? Can you change the grandfather law, or how are you gonna be work with the grandfather law and
Grandfather
for the taxes? I'm talking about that.
Why not change?
I hope the people, lot of people calling me and gave me the mask regarding this issue, and we are lucky we're discussing this issue, this meeting. So we need to do something, and we have to do the subcommittee. But my question is there, if they have a face-to-face, they come to grandfather law, how come they take all the advantage? We pay the same street, walking the same street, same everything, same water bills, and my bill will be 2 times, 3 times more taxes than the other people. And I just telling you, people asking me, please be careful. Don't promise the people in the election time, no more taxes. I said, no, I never told them no more taxes, or we working the taxes. It is not my passion. Don't give them the false information. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I just want to add one more thing so people understand. Taxes do go up. And I think it's 5% a year, right? Correct? So it does go up.
No, 1%.
But, no, it's 5%.
5%
this year.
But,
All state.
yeah, I know.
All state.
So it does go up, but it shouldn't be going up that much.
Yes.
Just to let people know, taxes do actually go up every year, and it depends if there's lawsuits or whatever it is, but not how it is. Yes, ma'am. So hopefully we'll take care of it. That's it.
Mr. Mayor, there's quick things. I know you all said everything, and there's nothing much to say. And we all agree with people that somehow we need to be in control over the. But one other things could be a subcommittee discussion. There sewerage line, that we voted previously last month, I believe. Next year is going to be added up again. So it's tax going to go higher next year. So we need to prevent from now on. And the sewerage line bill, I'll recommend to put a separate bill to people, not to include in the tax bill. Because that's become a burden to the people to paying so much money at the same time. To
It's
take
gonna
into
be
consideration.
on the water bill, right? Water bill?
I'm sorry, Councilman.
Storage,
Storage
the
system?
line fixing that we decided
That has to go on the water bill.
is gonna be on water bill?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's another bill going up, so
Water
that's gonna be another burden, so.
All right, so we wanna hear from the assessor. Do you have anything to say?
Mr. Mayor, I did ask the assessor to join us this evening. He was not supposed to come tonight. In fact, he actually was off for most of the day today, but he made the exception and broke off from his family to come in because you guys wanted to talk.
It's good.
Thank you.
People can have good.
First of all, I'd like to say a common misconception, the assessing office has nothing to do with the millage rates or the property tax bill. We value properties and we come up with valuations for the properties. The city council comes up with the millage rates and approves them, it's not the assessment office. We're all licensed by the state of Michigan, we have to follow state laws, and that's what we're doing. If we do not equalize, it goes to county equalization. They give us our ratio where we're at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the tax season where we're at. We have to be at 50% of true cash value, which by state law says the usual sale price of homes. If we don't equalize and not follow state law, county equalization will equalize for us. If county equalization does not equalize, state equalization will equalize for us. We have no choice but to be at 50% of the usual sale price of homes. We have no control over what people pay for their houses. We do the math, we do the studies, we do standard deviations, PRDs, everything else is going in there. By state law, we have to be at 50% of the true cash sales. And that's what's going in here. Yes, sale prices in Hamtramck have gone up drastically. A house that was selling for, in 5, 6, 7 years ago, for $60,000 is now selling for $180,000. Homes that were selling for $90,000 to $120,000 6, 7 years ago are now selling up to $330,000. We've seen sales over $300,000 in the city of Hamtramck. Those numbers are what causes us to have to equalize and raise the assessments. Yes, your taxes are based on the assessments and the taxable values that are calculated through Proposal A. But, again, that is state law and we have no control over that. We have to do that. If we don't do it, the county will do it for us. That threatens my license and that threatens everyone's license in that office to do our jobs.
But Conrad, sorry to interrupt you, but Mr. Mayor, the same houses, people have been living there for 6, 7 years, 5 years. How come their rate goes so high?
Well,
There's no exchange in the last 3, 5 years.
So over the past few years, we've seen increases in, so every year, the taxable value after Proposal A increases by the CPI, or what people commonly refer to as the rate of inflation, or 5%, whichever is lower. This is the first time since Proposal A is passed that the state of Michigan has calculated the rate of inflation at 7.9%, so it hit that 5% cap, so the 5% was lower. So every property across the state of Michigan, the state tax commission calculated that, every property across the state of Michigan had a 5% taxable value increase by law. That's what Proposal A passed in 1994, that's what people voted for, and that's in our Constitution. This year,
Basically, the whole state went up by 5%.
it's the highest ever, that's ever since Proposal A is passed. The other thing is, it's not just the Sarah Garrett lawsuit, there's 3 separate lawsuits that were added to this. So as you mentioned, yes, there might have been on the the average taxable value in 2023 in a Hamtramck house for a residential improved, which is a lot with a home on it, the average taxable value if a residential is $32,185. So with all 3 of those lawsuits, that came out to an average of $175.90 increase for every residential approved. On average, there are taxable values that are less, there are taxable values that are higher.
There's always gonna be exceptions to that. I mean, if you buy a $300,000 house, your taxes are gonna be a heck of a lot higher. But bottom line is, the average house in Hamtramck assessable value is $30,000. It's the average house.
With this being said,
Okay,
the number,
we'll go for
wait a second.
Activity, I think, is very
That's,
Yeah, so we'll save the discussion for that,
We're
but
discussing
I know like some people who are paying $700.
No.
They own the house for like 20 years?
Yes, there are still residents who are paying between like a $700 to $1,100 per year in taxes in Hamtramck, yes. There are some of those that have been grandfathered in because when the market dropped in the housing crisis, values dropped in Hamtramck drastically. Those increases have been between 1.4 and I think 3.3, 3.5% every year. So their taxable values are still low because it takes a very long time to get back up if you own that house. Unfortunately, with the state law and the uncapping after Proposal A passed, it is taxes go higher based on the values of the properties that are selling. We have no control over that either. So we have to equalize, we have to make these numbers that have to be by state law. MCL 211-27-1 defines the true cash value as the usual sale price. So we have to assume that whatever sale is going in there. Yes, the county does a sales study. We review the county sales study. County removes sales for us. We have to use based on what they do. Yes, our predecessor, as Mr. Hassan mentioned, that yes, there was somebody in here who was a part-time assessor. We also failed the audit after him. We had a corrective action plan through the state. We did a reassessment with Tyler to go in there. There was threatening that the state would come over and take over the role. We had to come up with a corrective action plan. He left. My predecessor, Mr. Singh, came in there and corrected it. We went through that audit with what we have in here now. Last time we got a 100% score for the state of Michigan at our last audit. We'll have another audit in 2 years. It happens every 4 to 5 years. We have another audit coming up. We try to adhere to every state law that is there. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to try to answer them.
Mr. Chair, I do.
I think we should form the subcommittee.
We do,
and
but
then
we do need to address a
You
couple things.
you will work with him then?
Yeah, no, I'm not.
I mean, you don't want to be, okay, so, it's all right.
But it's,
Go ahead and ask.
the thing is, the residents still here, Mr. Mayor, the property, Wayne County, as I mentioned, Wayne County is a large county. There's other cities. Detroit did not increase that much property taxes. Okay, as far as also other Lincoln Park, Allen Park, and Hamtramck is a 2.2 square miles. You're asking this much money to increase. There's got to be something that need to be done for the residents. They cannot afford it. I don't think they will be staying in here. If this kind of money they got to pay, I'm not debating. I understand where you're coming from, Connor. That this is state and county assessed, and you're doing your part. But that's this city is poor as a poverty city. This cannot. They stayed in this city for a long time because of the tax. It's the less taxes they pay, and this time this from 1,200 to 2,700, and then 1,500 to 6,000. It's dramatically just too much. And there's got to be something done. I know we're trying to reform the subcommittee, but you got to help us to retain those residents.
Can I say something? This is
Yes,
not
yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, it's something we need to take this seriously. You are an expert. I'm not assessor. Nor I know anything about it, but I can rely on you. But they elected us to be represent, to make sure they stay in these houses. So you got, Wayne or state has got to come in and fix this, these numbers.
Councilman, do you just want to form the subcommittee and we can go?
Sure, yeah, appreciate it.
We'll go
I
ahead
know.
and form the subcommittee.
That's what Mr. Hassan.
I would suggest that Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, Councilman Rafai, and Councilman Mohit Mahmoud, are you okay with being in the subcommittee?
I'm good, yes.
Okay. All right, thank you. So this is,
Hassan.
Hassan. Well, I know the rule is the mayor choose two and the city council choose the third one, but I know we are in agreement with that, so.
It's fine.
So, all right.
Okay.
All right, so no vote on this one.
Nope.
I guess we are
I
done,
hope
right?
that you guys fix it.
All
Thank you,
right.
Connor, for coming in.
So we are done with the new businesses and we move to the reports. I will start with my report.
Good night.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Yeah, have a good night.
All right. So, mayor report, I really don't have much to say. We already said everything tonight. I just want to make it clear that we as mayor and city council denounce any kind of vandalism of private flags or private properties, whatever they are. We are very upset by these behaviors, whoever is doing them, kids or adults. And I actually did my part, and I contacted some community leaders and some activists and some imams of masjids, and I told them to educate people and speak up in the Friday prayer, talk to the parents to educate their kids about this issue and how serious it can be. Some people do it for fun, and some people do it out of hatred. I don't know what are the motivations. I don't know who's doing that, but we are against this, and we will continue doing our part, talking to people, talking to community leaders, and we would always, release statements to denounce any kind of vandalism. We don't support any kind of violations or vandalism. And also on the other side, we denounce any kind of violations to the city rules and codes and regulations, such as what happened last Sunday. Like I said earlier, those people who used to lead our city, if they behave in such a way, it's a bad example to the residents. They would say these people are violating the rules and they were the leaders of the city. So why do you ask us to follow rules and city codes and regulations? It's just a bad example to the people. We expect people who are educated, who are community leaders to follow the rules. And whether you like it or not, it happens in the past that you voted against things or in favor of things that are against the majority of the people. Were they happy with that? No. Including the marijuana, including other stuff. People were upset about those kind of decisions, yet they did not do any kind of vandalism. They did not violate rules. They did not come and protest in front of the city hall. So why, when it's done against your will, you act in such aggression? That's not accepted either. You have to respect the rules and resolutions of the city, whether it's in your favor or not. Like I said, there are many examples that happened in the past. 2021, this same city council voted in favor of the flag in front of the city hall. What did the people do? Did they come and protest in front of city hall? Did they do any kind of violence? No. Did they like that decision? No, of course they did not. And they're the majority of the people. But they respected the law. They respected it. They didn't cause any violence, no aggression, and they maintained peace and stability in the city. We expect people to respect law and order. So I'm getting more requests now for people to do some protests and rallies. But I don't want that. I ask people nicely to step back and keep the city peaceful. Otherwise, people are not, the fact that they don't come to the meeting doesn't mean they are not following what's going on in the city. Or they don't want to do anything, or they don't want to take any actions. So I hope that everybody takes, responsible actions and maintain peace and stability in the city, because everything will lead to a bigger thing, and we don't want any kind of violence in our city or any kind of hate crimes. So that's all for my report, and we'll move to the Mayor Pro Tem report.
Mr. Chair, thank you everybody to be a patient today. What I want to say, what's happened, it was very unlawful what's happened last Sunday. Hamtramck City, as an elected official, we are moving right direction. We're not violating any constitutional law. We're not doing nothing wrong. We try to keep the peaceful life here. Mr. Councilman Khalil Rafai said maybe we are not number one city in the area. Yeah, one case we are number one. Which one? Diversity. This is the first city in the world, diverse city, peaceful life. Everybody live here. Even though some people disagree with us, they are the one. Few weeks ago, council meeting, they said they moved here because it is the peaceful city, and it still is the peaceful city. The violation they did it as an elected official. I came to the spot. I've been insulted. People circling around me, coming to my face. I said, I have some personal issue going on. I apologize. Please stay away from me, and I don't want to talk to nobody right now. He's still coming and circling me, and just came to my face, showing the middle finger. Who doing that? It's not us. And still, gently, respectfully, we take care of the situation. So, today I want to tell, including my city employees, zero tolerance with the discrimination. Zero tolerance with the involvement with any group, if any city employee. There is the history of this body around here. Within 2 minutes, we terminate one city manager. Within 2 minutes. 4 vote only, that's all. No matter what after that, who cares? Respect, because one of the council member, city manager, disrespect my council members. He can disrespect or argument in his office, not in the publicly. What happened last Sunday, same thing some people did publicly insult us. And they violate the Hamtramck city ordinance law. And I want Mr. Attorney and City Manager further investigation, and I want to proceed lawful action for those people who involved. If anybody inside the city hall, we don't have to give any handbook. Law is already been established law, even though it was not in handbook, because handbook printed like a long time ago, but the ordinance already been established. As soon as published, it's already law. I cannot argue with my manager or my attorney, or even though me, argue with them, who is saying, what is the law I have to follow? There is the law, everybody knows. So again, I want everybody same face. Insult is enough insult. We're not doing anything unconstitutional. We're not discriminating anybody. We want to stay here peaceful life. I've been seeing this over 28 years. I want to see this peaceful life rest of my life, this city. So I'm requesting everybody live together, learn how to live together and stay together. There is nothing other issue going on here. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. And we move to the City Council reports, if any.
Mr. Chair.
Councilman Rafai.
I want to take this moment to thank everybody that showed up here today. Individuals who had complaints, we will take that into consideration, especially on the taxes. I want to thank you guys for coming here. Regarding vandalism on either flags, me personally, and I think this entire body, we're against anything, against anybody vandalizing any property to either private or business. I think we have a great police department. If anybody has an issue, having videos, anything that someone is damaging, probably our police department will take care of it. And then, there's court, so we're against it. People are saying, well, there's no statement. We're saying here today, and we'll continue mentioning that we're against any vandalism to any flag. Could be pride flag or any flag. And like the mayor have said, we have spoken to imams, leaders, to always continue educating, with teens who might think it's fun or go at people's houses. This is unacceptable. We will not accept it, or either our police department. One more thing, people are complaining that our garbage issues in the alleys, somehow some garbage are being picked up and some are not. I don't know what's with that issue. So you can address it to the company and see what's up with that. And people are saying, well, he's driving by 2 or 3 houses and not picking up my trash. So I don't know what's going on with that. So hopefully you could.
Councilman, we're very much in tune to that. I mean, we field complaints weekly on this type of thing. So if anything comes in, I usually personally handle it. I interface directly with the president of that company. Had one happen where they missed one over the weekend, and they made sure they came out the next morning. But bottom line is we need to hear. If they miss something, we need to hear about it. Someone needs to let us know. Someone has to call it in. Someone needs to email us.
That's why I have. Everyone have a great night and be safe.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Councilman Chowdhury.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for being here, and I like to say this. I wanted to apologize if there's any vandalism happening in our city. I condemn any hate crimes to anyone. It's not acceptable. They're allowed to fly their flag at their own property. You gotta understand that. The thing we banned is that any government's property and public property not allowed to have a LGBTQ flag.
Or any flag.
Yeah. So please respect that they have their own rights to do their own flag at their own peace of mind and their own places. I don't want to talk about that. I would like to discuss something important. the Hamtramck border, I know all those things are important, but this is one of the things happening lately. The Hamtramck border and the Detroit border, that side and this side, there's been multiple accidents happening lately. The accidents causing from the intersection. The Detroit Hamtramcks, when the police call for Hamtramcks to show up, they try to say that it's a Detroit side, and then the Hamtramck police don't show up for an hour, 2 hours. But the accident happened combinedly from both sides. I have requested Belmont and Conant, that intersections, to have a study there because of the multiple accidents, and during the prayer time and other gathering, they colluded. I'd like to request our city manager and attorney to open the discussions or dialogue with the Detroit Police Department or county to see how we can study, how we can respond each other to the city of Hamtramck and Detroit Police Department especially. There, multiple times I called in for 911 to get somebody there to mitigate the accident. The Hamtramck responded, it's not in our premises or our adjudications, it's Detroit. Who is responsible for that? We gotta do something that can help each other, because Hamtramck and Detroit together, we are neighbors. So I strongly suggest that we do something for this Detroit and Hamtramck together, just like we do it for the fire department. That'll be a great thing to do for this both cities. Thank you for being here, and everyone. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Councilman. Anyone else?
No, thank you.
All right, I guess we are done with the reports of the city council.
Mr. Chair, if you guys don't mind, I have to mention one more thing. Okay, sorry.
30 seconds.
So, yeah, my banner, election banner, few banners I have. So, somebody put the sticker, my banner, my face, mouth, and with the logo, and when I scan that one, showing the LGBTQ. So, these kinds of things, still we politely handling all those things. Okay? So, I did not tell anybody, but how good we are, how we do the passion and everything. Nobody should touch my property. Nobody should touch my banner. But still, we want to stay here peacefully. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to share a little bit.
Yeah.
A really wonderful time. After Eid, after 20 years, my older brother from London, younger brother from Sydney, bring whole family enjoy Eid al-Adha with me.
Never invite us.
It is after 20 years. So it is really humble. And finally they lived today back to their own destination. It is really great opportunity for me. And last thing I'm going to ask, telling you, I fully denounce all those violations going on for the LGBTQ friends. Please, I'm asking you, if you have any cameras there, anything else there, give some information, give some evidence to our police department. We like to take care of you and like to stay everybody safe in the city. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Mr. Councilman, I hope you show your family of Hamtramck.
No, he's going to pay the bill.
Yeah, I bring. Mr. City Manager was see them. I bring them to the city.
So, do you have any report, Mr. City Manager?
I'm all set for. He's sick.
Okay,
He cannot speak.
so we have another round of public comments, and then you guys can go home if you have anything.
Drum roll, please. Mr. Bill Meyer, you ready?
No.
One and only. That's the only one.
We can take.
No, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask for an extra minute too.
All right, go ahead. You're the only one.
So,
Yeah.
You can talk about anything.
First of all, what's the rule we decided on for the number of letters you can read?
Yeah, I'm,
15 emails.
15 emails.
it should be in person, not in person.
I made a mistake.
Okay. And another thing about the council rules that you all passed a while back, you can talk to people who come up and speak publicly. You can respond. And Mohit was cut off when he wanted to say something.
I was,
He had every right
yeah.
to say something. So speak back to us if you want to.
Thank you. Too many times.
Okay, so Thank you for the compliment, I appreciate it.
Oh, no, I make you angry because of this. I'm gonna make that compliment.
My life was the Human Relations Commission for a while, but 40 years before I came here, I was a social justice activist. When I got here, Twyla and I decided to wanted to help work in the groups and communities of color that were being treated unjustly. I wanted to fight Islamophobia especially, homophobia, racism. These are all things that tear communities apart and ruin the life for everybody. We wanted to live in a community where we were happy to live in with everybody else. And the last 20 years or so, we've been working mostly in the Muslim community because I know the Muslim Islamophobia, anti-Muslim hatred is the strongest hatred in the U.S. right now, according to the FBI. It's like 93% of hate crimes are against Muslims. And I don't hear anything in this city about complaining about that. But for a long time, that's what it was, and that's the area that we were helping to work in. Certainly, now that we have other issues coming up, then this is also very important too. But I want to say it took a long time for you guys to catch on what's going on with the Human Relations Commission. It's not serving this community. And it's the most important commission. It's right now the most important one, to bring people together on issues like this. I went through a few of these issues like this in the past, and it was very difficult. You have one side that only believes they're right, and the other side believes only they're right. Somehow you have to find compromise, and most people aren't willing to do it. But I tell you, all the years I've been here, I don't remember one time that I saw a Muslim person be hateful against another person in these meetings. I saw respect between, and I didn't see that. When we got here, we called this the white power structure. Even though they weren't all white, there were other people in it, and all white people weren't part of the white power structure. But basically, all the employees in City Hall were white, all the police, all the fire, all the contracts, everything was white. Until the longer we lived here and found out, wait, there's a lot of black people live here, there's a lot of Yemenis who live here, a lot of Bangladesh, and we got to know this community and realize you're more than 50%, now you're more than 70%, which still people won't recognize. Even you guys won't even admit that, maybe that's 70, 80%. And you were not treated equally and justly. And that's what we fight for, justice. And now when we see the LGBTQIA2S plus community being discriminated against, of course, we want to support them also.
Thank you, Mr. Meyer.
I want to ask for one.
I gave you your extra minute.
Next time, Joe, go with
Next time, ask for 2.
2.
You won't get it, but that you can ask.
All right.
I'll make
All right, adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second. All right.
You said 5 firsts and 3 seconds. They want to leave.
9:19.
Well,
I just want to get some fresh air.
Yeah.
all right.
Don't forget your charger.
Okay, you need this, Odie. Hey, you're welcome. Thank you, everybody.
How's your
Appreciate
family
it, man.
doing?
How's it? He's a good guy. Thank you.